Well, good evening and welcome to our Expats Portugal webinar for the 17th of April 2025. And a good one tonight that we've not done before, a topic we've not covered before, and we're in great hands this evening with Nuno Pereira. It's what to expect when visiting the dentist in Portugal. Big questions are, is it covered by health insurance? Very important. How much should I expect to pay for dental care here in Portugal? And what to do with dental emergencies if you should find yourself in that unfortunate situation as a foreigner, as an immigrant, as an expat, and somebody new in Portugal. Other topics to be covered tonight, so you know, overview of dental care services in Portugal, and we'll find out exactly how Nuno and family work. It's 2 generations of dentists in his practice, a lovely backstory, and we'll hear a little bit more about that in just a moment. A cost comparison between Portugal and the USA. I favour Portugal being better value of those two. I'm sure you do as well. Navigating the Portuguese healthcare system in combination with dentistry. Dental tourism, combining travel with dental care. That might mean a nice weekend in Porto, actually. And tips for maintaining dental health as an expat. And then a Q&A session in which Nuno will address the FAQs. He has a list of for us as well. So let's get underway. Nuno Pereira, good evening to you. Thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Great to see you. And tell us a bit about your practice. It was lovely chatting with you before. You are 2 generations of dentists there, right? And where are you?
First of all, thank you for inviting. Thank you for this opportunity to talk a little bit about the dentistry in my country, in Portugal. And yes, like we spoke, yes, my father is a dentist. Actually, he's retired now, retired from dentistry, but very active in some other stuff in life, like traveling and so on.
Lucky man. He's left it to you.
Yeah. Now me and my sister are the ones working.
Right.
He's also a dentist. And yes, we have two clinics, one in Gaia, which is over 20 shares, and the other one a bit smaller in Matosinhos with 9 shares, where we have all the specialties covering the dentistry. This is something that is quite common in Portugal, that is not so common in North America, which is like bigger centers covering all the parts of dentistry. It's more common to have referrals. You have your own office, maybe you work 2 or 3 dentists, and then you refer for the orthodontists. Then people come back, and here in Portugal, it's quite common to have bigger centers with all specialties.
I see. Okay, so there's an obvious and first difference, and of course do you have experience of living in the United States as well, don't you?
Yes, I did. I did live in New York for a couple of years. Actually, I did. I graduated here in Porto, dental school here in Porto in 2001, long time ago. And then I went straight up to New York, NYU. That was the best place in the world at the time to do implant dentistry with my mentor Dennis Tarno, and I stayed there for a couple of years. And then when I came back, I only do implant dentistry in my own practice. But I'm here to talk a little bit about everything, of course.
The overview. Fantastic. Are there any other observations then in dealing with Americans and North Americans and UK folks and people from the rest of the world? How would you distinguish Portuguese dentistry? What are some of the differences that we might like to know about this evening?
You know, the materials are the same. They are not the same in all clinics in Portugal, as they are not the same in all clinics in America, for sure. You have people that work with better materials and people that try to save a little bit. But the brands of, let's say, the composites, the Invisalign for orthodontics, the implants, the brands are universal. So the materials are basically the same. The cost of the materials could be cheaper and more expensive. For instance, in Brazil, it's going to be cheaper than in Portugal. In Portugal, it's going to be cheaper for me to buy an implant than my colleague in the US. That's for sure.
Right.
That's part of where it goes. Why it's cheaper here in Portugal. The education, most of the Portuguese younger dentists are post-graduated on something. It's really, really, really good, the dentistry in Portugal. And I'm not talking about my clinics, I'm talking generally overall, it's really, really high standards.
Mhm.
And yes, that's it. If it's someone from any other country that lives in Porto, it's going to be the same as being a Portuguese. Actually, they might have questions and doubts, and we can try to explain all of that. But the procedures, like the appointments, will be the same because people are nearby. It's going to be the same. If people are traveling, sometimes it happens that it's called dental tourism, right? So people
Yeah.
travel just for that. Then we need to be a little bit more careful and try not to do what they are doing in countries like Turkey and just remove everything, and because it's fast and you go. This is most of the times is not the best way. So in those
That sounds
cases,
terrifying. Yes,
yeah.
that sounds terrifying, doesn't it? And a hair transplant at the same time
I
for some.
see on Instagram and TikTok sometimes actually the patients filming themselves, and I just go, my God, 20 years old, and in 5, 10 years everything will be destroyed, you know?
Right. Well, that's a really nice distinction,
Yeah.
and affirmation for the quality that you can experience in
Yes.
Portugal. And
Yes, and the main difference is that to make a treatment plan, to give you a budget, we need to have exams.
yeah,
Otherwise, it's just talking here, you know. Oh, if you do this, it's this. If you do that, it's going to be that. But if I want to do a treatment plan for a patient, I don't actually need, I can do that without the person being here, but I need exams.
yeah,
Otherwise, what's the cost of an implant? It depends. It depends if
yes.
you have bone, if you don't have bone. It depends if it's one, two, three. So we need exams. That's the main problem if you are not here in Portugal. If you are here
Yeah.
in Portugal, it's like any other person. I just come for the first appointment, and we do all of these exams, and we go from there.
And to suit the individual. That's very reassuring, rather than a production line, as you've alluded to there. Well, that's great. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more then about comparative costs, and also how it interfaces with the health system and health insurance. Can you explain that to us as well? And may I remind our Expats Portugal Premium members who are here and our guests this evening, to put their questions into the chat. That's what we do. We record the first half hour, 40 minutes or so, and then our members will have a chance to talk with you directly, which is always a great feature of these evenings. And you can ask more personal questions then. But if you've got more general questions, do pop them into the chat now, and I'll put them to Nuno. So yes, how it works with the system,
Yeah.
comparative costs, and
So as
health.
you might know, fortunately, we do have in Europe the healthcare, the national healthcare. So every Portuguese has the right for a free health, kind of except dentistry in
Is that a
Portugal.
recent change? Is that something new, or has it always
Yes,
been that
yes.
way?
Here in Portugal, you have like it's called the dentist check that the government gives the dentist, but it's just for for children,
Yeah.
for pregnant women, and for old people.
Okay.
Which as a beginning, if I had only a certain amount of money to do it, if I was the government, I could only spend that amount of money. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Right.
These children, why? Because for education and treating children now, it will make that we don't spend so much money in the future, and
Absolutely.
the basic health will be better. And of course, the pregnant women and older people because they are more in need than the rest of the population.
Yes. Well, our first question has just come in on that. Sorry to break your flow, but just to qualify that, Mills is asking, what is considered old? So,
Here in
what sort
yeah, it's 65 plus.
okay, all right. Thank you.
But
Thank you.
this is just, I think this is just for Portuguese people, the like the free these checks. That you need to have a discount on Social Security here
Yes.
to be able to get there. That's
All right. Thank you for that.
and
That's a
also for
particular
children
interest.
yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nuno, for that. Okay. Sorry. Back to you and how the government health system,
Yeah,
health
yeah, yeah.
insurance, and how we
Yeah, we
inter.
have for major things like let's say cancer and big cysts and all of these big things. Well, of course, you can go to the hospital, and they have, it's called stomatologia. It's like dentistry in French, in the French nomenclature, the
Oh,
stomatology. And those are doctors that then they specialize on the mouth, and so they stay in the health system, okay?
right.
But if you want to do an implant, if you have a decay, if you want to do a cleaning, more basic jobs, they don't have it in the public.
Okay.
You need to go private. If you go private, then you can go totally private, or you can do an insurance. We have a few insurance in Portugal. Try to avoid those that with free things, free stuff, because good clinics don't work with those insurance.
And by that, do you mean it's a bonus added on to something else?
Yeah, let's say Medicare, it's very known.
Yeah.
If I would work with Medicare, I don't, and you need an extraction, I would have to extract the tooth for free, for instance. So
Right.
actually, I cannot do it in my code, in my deontologic code, I cannot do it. But I wouldn't do it because nobody works for free, right?
Yeah.
So then you have for the insurance that I know that are okay, that are at least fair, it's Medish, Multicare, and Advanced Care. Those are
Okay.
the three Portuguese insurance that I know they are fair.
Right.
Um, they have normal price tables. For foreign insurance, this is depends on the country. I know French people do have insurance, and some Europeans they have insurance that they can come here, they pay, but then they are refunded when they go back.
Oh, okay.
I know also in the US and Canada they have a few, but that depends on what you do there, not here. Here in Portugal, I would say Medish, Advanced Care, and Multicare are the three main ones
Okay.
you can use.
Thank you.
The costs, you asked about the costs. The cost, like everywhere else, depends on the clinic that you go, but for sure they will be much cheaper than the US. Also in the US, it depends on the state that you are. If we're
Yeah.
talking about Manhattan, it's going to be for sure much more expensive. The same thing as if you go in a small town in Minnesota, I would say.
Sure, you're right. I'm sure you're right.
But I can tell you that here in Portugal, let's say a dental cleaning, it will cost between 55 euros and 70, 80, depending on the clinic.
Yeah.
That's something that everybody did before, so people might know how much they paid at home. Filling between 50 and 100, depending on the size of the filling. Dental implant goes from 1,000, dental implant with the crown. It goes from 1,300, I would say, to 1,500, the implant and the crown. The crown itself, the crown over a tooth, if you have a good root and you need a post-in crown, it will be between 500 and 700 euros, something like that. And I'm saying between because I don't want to talk about
No, I understand.
my clinic. It's generally, it's not for you it's 500, for you it's
Yeah,
600.
yeah.
No, it's you might go to a place where it's around 500, and another place it is gonna be around 700.
No, I appreciate that. It's a guide, isn't it? A guideline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So that's health insurance, and that's some of the costs there. The question from David, average price of out-of-pocket cleaning, you've mentioned and responded to that as well. Some of the other issues, topics tonight we'd like to look at. I mean, you've given us an overview there and a comparison of how Portugal ranks in the world. Great to hear that you've got very highly trained
Yeah.
postgraduate dentists, generally speaking, here. Um, what's the best way to find a good dentist? I mean, pardon the pun, is it word of mouth?
I know. I think it's the best way, honestly.
Right.
I'm putting myself in your situation that you don't know dental work, you don't know the
Yes.
industry. And when I try to find a doctor, but this is like personal, I try to speak with this one, that one, and I try to, and I go to when I have good referrals. Of
Hmm.
course, in the world that we live in, it's like the Instagrams and Facebook, this is very important, also marketing, but you never know. if you have someone that did something somewhere and it
Yeah,
went well, that's a good starting point,
it's a
right?
good start. A good start for
Yeah,
sure.
but
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
No, that's great. That's great. That's really helpful. You know, we're newbies often in this country. You know,
I can tell him, sir, sorry, I can tell you for us, we have these statistics. Fortunately for us, it's mouth to mouth. It's been with my in my father's time and
mm,
still is. Even though we go in the social networking, we do it,
yeah,
but it's still the most important thing is still mouth to mouth.
yeah,
This
very
is,
good.
I'm glad that it is like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're trading based on your reputation, which
Yes.
is clearly good. And so yeah, in the worst of cases you described in the national health system with those very difficult and awful situations, you will get treatment for that. Otherwise, if you're not pregnant, if you're not a child, and we'll come back to the age, we'll talk about the ages and our old people, as it were, a little bit later on when we have our questions afterwards. Other than that, find a private dentist, probably based on a word of mouth recommendation. And there's this thing of dental tourism. I mean, people might like the sound of what you're talking about there, Nuno. And coming up to Gaia or Matosinhos to visit you, how does that work? How would that work for somebody who, I mean, they might not be here in Portugal yet. They might make it part of their scouting trip. I don't know. But it's probably more convenient when they live here and perhaps in another part of Portugal. How does that work, coming to see you in that way?
Oh, we have several channels, phone call, the website, also through the Facebook. There's a link there.
Mm,
Uh, we have WhatsApp, several channels, but usually people call. Actually, for our patients, we have the app that they can do it by themselves. They have access to the agenda, and if there's a place, they can do it. But if it's first time, I would recommend an email if you are outside, or a
mm,
phone call. Actually, the phone call, we work like this. It might happen that the receptionists don't answer the call the first time because the rule is treat the person that is in front of you first. So
yes.
if they cannot answer the phone, but we have another rule that at the end of the day, nobody gets uncalled. So they
Okay.
check the list of the phone calls that we didn't call and they call them again.
Okay.
People back. So I would say this is the easiest way. If you are here, if you are outside, an email.
All right. And that will be the start of the relationship with you. As you said before, it's very important for you to get to know the client and to do an examination. You need to have them there. If this is going to be the start of a regular visit up to the north of the country, or even for some serious work. Can
Or
you
at
give us?
least a good set of exams that through the internet we can do it with
Oh,
JPEG
okay.
or DICOM. If it's the image, they can send us the examinations and we can go
Oh,
from
okay.
there also. Yeah.
All right, very interesting. So, yes, this brings us on to one of the FAQs, I think, for you, is how to exchange dental records and the exams that you talk about there.
You
It's
just need to
doable.
ask your doctor for a digital image of what they have. Actually, for the last 15, 20 years, almost everything is digital. If
Right.
uh, I would say there would be some doctors still that have like the 20 years ago X-rays that you need to go to the liquids, but this is not normal. So everything is digital, it's just email and that's it.
And that's all you need to get the ball rolling and get things
Yeah,
started.
yeah. Some pictures, the X-rays, and if we're talking about dental implants, always a CT scan, CBC.
Okay. So you would be able to make some sort of first assessment based on
Yeah,
the
right.
records and the exams there. When it comes to and again, sorry to sound a little bit sort of naive, but people are in a new country, and for visiting the dentist for some people, that's quite a nerve-wracking situation. I mean, presumably it's just the same as going anywhere in the world, but are there any specific things when you come to your practice, for example? What will it be like for the foreigner coming to you for the first time?
On average, we're nicer.
On average. Okay, all right. Okay, good. That's nice to hear.
No, come on. No, I think it totally depends on the person wherever you are in the world.
Yes.
To be honest, there's nothing special we do. Me myself, I tend to understand if people are comfortable or not. I know this is. I think some people even are born with a fear of dentists. This is because before 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was tough to go to the dentist.
Yes.
Because it was tough. It's true. Now it makes no sense because there's nothing we do that we have to hurt the person. But if the trauma is there, we have
Yeah.
to work with it.
Okay.
Actually, for kids, there's something that if anybody here has kids, even a son, daughter, grandson, it's nice that they go before they need to do something.
Hmm.
It's nice that they know the dentist before they need to do something, just for a conversation, a talk, because they get to know this person. And
Yeah.
then if and when they need something, then it's easier. For us adults, it's just we go as we can go.
That sounds like a great idea. I do know some grown-ups who would like to come and visit you for the first time and just have a chat, but that's just for children then. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us before we get into some questions from our audience here, Nuno?
I don't know. I guess I prefer that you make me the questions
Fair
and
enough. Fair enough. Okay, we've got some of those, and we will have. If you're preferring to ask a question of Nuno without being on the recording, we can do that in a little while. But some of the questions that have come in the US with good insurance, your policy would include 2 cleanings per year, which were essentially free of charge. I don't believe that is the case in Portugal. Is it? Asked Jose Cruz. What is the time frame for cleanings here, and are they usually fully covered by the insurance or not?
yes. So here could be even better because here the same, let's say, let's pick one. You have Medish, okay?
Mhm.
Like three people on the audience says Medish. They booked with Medish. And it can be different from the three of you.
All right.
You can have Medish and don't have access to the or the insurance will not pay the clinic anything, but you have the advantage that if the clinic works with the insurance, we will have to get from you only the amount that is on the table on the fee of the insurance. Do I make myself clear? I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
my own fee. Okay. For me, the clinic in my clinic, if you are a private, let's say, I don't know by heart, but let's say clinic, it's 60 euros. But if I deal with Medis only pays 40. So you
Yeah.
will pay 40 if
Okay.
you have the card. Okay.
Yes.
Then you might have a part of a certain amount of money that you can spend per year.
Yeah.
Okay. And that will include most of the things, and in some cases, everything. And that amount is also negotiated with the insurance. You can have 250 euros, 500 euros, 1,000 euros. More
Right.
than that is stuff.
Okay.
I
So
don't
an
even know if
allowance,
there
an
exists
allowance
more
approach.
than, yeah. So, and that every year, every fiscal year, you have the access to that money.
Yeah.
And if you have one of these insurance, then you'll just pay like 5, 10 euros per appointment because the insurance company will pay us the rest. Okay.
Co-pay
But it
effectively.
depends what you deal with the insurance company. Okay.
Okay. Very good. Yes.
So
Depending on
I
your.
understand what you say, what the person that asks said, that you have two free, somebody's paying, probably the insurance paying. Here it's a bit different. It could be even better because if you have 500 euros or 1,000 euros, you have much more than two clinics per
Yes.
year.
Or
The
a couple of
other,
really
the other
good
part of
clinics.
the question,
Yeah.
this is I think worldwide. You should do. Actually, the clinics should be tailor-made. But if they are not tailor-made because it's tough, and I understand it's tough, when I say tailor-made, it might you don't need any cleaning and some other person needs every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because they don't clean their teeth. But if we don't go that way, because this is tough to do it like this, it's twice a year. Twice a year is good for everybody. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Connected to that, again, Jose, also, do most dentists have dental hygienists who usually do the cleaning in the US, or does the dentist do all the work themselves? And Debbie has a comment on that.
No, actually, in our clinics, we have, let me think, I think 8 or 9 dental hygienists.
Okay.
And we don't do everything because we work with specialties. Even I'm here representing, but I only do surgery. I only do dental implants and
Yeah.
only the surgical part.
Yeah.
So we have of course general dentists, which are very, very important,
Yeah.
and they refer, but internally. It
Yes.
works like in the States, but in the same building, in the same.
I get it. Yeah, that's the distinction, isn't it? It is cross referral, but within the same
Yeah,
practice.
but for sure there are dentists, smaller offices that do everything.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Jose Cruz, again, we have noticed that, yeah, it's almost impossible to get our dentist on the phone. So we go there in person to make our appointments. And also, yeah, that comment about the first visit to the dentist with kids. Same for the barber shop. Kids today, they're so spoiled. But it's quite nice too. Um, how do these supplemental dental plans work? Are they discounts only? And are they worth it? Does that mean anything to you, supplemental dental plans?
Yeah, there are. I think what you mean. I'm kind of guessing from what I know from insurance. Even Medish, Advanced Care and Multicare, they have some. It's like a discount card. It's called Medish Dental
Mhm.
and Multicare Dental, Advanced Care. I don't know. And yes, it works basically as a discount because I have to do the fees that they provide on the fee table. Okay. And actually, I'm thinking now. I think some of those are like someone said in the States, like you get two clinics for free that they pay us for, of course, and the rest you have access to the discount rate. And this
Very good.
discount rate is not like 10% of what I would charge. They have like a fee scheme, and
Yeah.
that's for all the clinics that work with them.
Okay.
If I choose to work with Medish, I have to accept those fees. And if my neighbor would work with Medish, also is the same.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Thanks for that question, James. Thanks for that answer, Nuno. A simple one. Do you have periodontists
Yes.
here in Portugal for deep cleaning? What does that mean exactly, Nuno? For
Yeah.
those who don't
A
know,
periodontist is a specialty that works on the stuff around teeth, meaning bone and gums.
as in perinatal.
And
Yes.
yes, it works like that. We have the hygienists that they do the first assessment if people don't go directly to the periodontist because they know something. If you have a problem that you don't know that you have a problem, the dental hygienist will do the first assessment. Most, and I would say about 90% or more of the stuff they can treat themselves. If they
Yeah.
cannot, they have like their boss is the periodontist, and then the patients go to the periodontist to do those like root cleaning, sometimes with surgery, sometimes with no surgery, because the dental hygienist can only do what they can do. They cannot
Yep.
do everything. They cannot do surgeries. But yes, we do have, yes.
Very good. Okay. Thank you very much for that. I think we pretty much covered everything that we intended to, and we will have some extra time here this evening.
Zirconia implants are available. I read that.
Yes, that's a very specialist question, isn't it? Zirconia. What is that, and are they available?
So, what's the name of the?
Zirconia.
No, I know, no, no. The first
Francesca.
Francesca. Francesca. So yes, zirconia implants are available. But let me tell you, as someone that did more than 30,000 implants, they are
Really?
very, very expensive, and they are not better in nothing than titanium implants. They came to the market saying that they are aesthetic because they
Yeah,
are white. It's true, they are white, but the dental implant stays totally inside the bone. They
yeah.
could be pink with blue dots.
And
Nobody.
only you know your secret, right? Yeah,
So, in the other hand, the titanium implants, they have been around for more than 50 years.
yeah,
And actually, this implantology is the part of the general medicine that you find more studies on the literature. So it's something that is so well documented.
Hmm.
And the zirconia implants are not. They've been around for 15 years. They've been more talked the last 2, 3 years,
Mm.
especially people that go a lot into this integrative medicine,
Yeah.
which I do. I totally agree and believe, but to a certain point.
Yes.
I'm not a skeptic, but I'm not like a total follower of this. I
Yeah.
need more data for that. But yes, if you want to pay like 4 times the normal implant, we do have.
That's a great answer. Okay.
It's
And I
true
think,
because those are more than 4 times more expensive for me.
yes.
So
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that honest answer on that. That's great. And thank you as well to Patricia as well behind the scenes there. And Gail thinks it would be nice to see more pink teeth with blue dots. I think you're talking about British teeth there, possibly.
no, no, because
Okay.
maybe I didn't, because the implant is the screw that goes inside the bone.
It
If
doesn't
you're
get seen.
talking, and also there is dental implants in zirconia, okay? If you're talking about the crown that goes over the implant,
Yeah.
we do always in zirconia. We don't do it
Okay.
in any other way.
Okay. Very
And
good.
those are not blues. Those are
Okay.
whites.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm sure you can help people if they really want something like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Nuno, it's been great chatting with you. I think we're going to pause the recording there. You are clinicaavenida.com and you're in Gaia and Matosinhos up there in the north of Portugal. People can send you exams to get some sort of distant assessment and they can make an appointment with you through there and make your acquaintance and have if they don't live nearby, have a lovely visit to the Porto area and do a little bit of dental tourism there. Any final words from you?
June, I just want to thank you again for the opportunity. I hope I've been clear. I try to be as clear and honest as possible, honestly. I want all of you to I want all of you to have a great time here in Portugal. We greet people that come here, and you're very welcome. And all the best to you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. So, muito prazer, muito obrigado. And stick around, if you will, for some extra questions from our guests here, our audience here this evening, after we've paused the recording, which I'll do now.